The tag for this video is FE register form. Now that we got our router working, we can start creating our registration page. Let's open up the source/page/register.rs. We'll start our registration page off with a form element. We're going to set the class. We're going to use a flex box, and we'll use flex columns with a little bit of a gap. We take a look at our design documents. We'll look at the wireframes UI. And if we zoom in here, we look at our create account page, we'll see that we have our username and password. They're going down here. So we're going to have a flex box going vertically in columns, and each one of these is going to be a flex item. So we'll have our username, password, this link, and then our submit button. And we'll also have our submission error messages here at the top. We'll add that later. Back in the code, we want to prevent the default submission of the form. So we need to have prevent_default. That will be on submit. So whenever we get a submit event, we're not going to do the default behavior. We're going to override the behavior by putting on submit. We're going to create a closure, and then we're going to fill that closure in as we work on the registration form. We also need a form submission button. So we'll create a button, and we'll set the class. We're going to use the button class, BTN. We're going to set the type. It's going to be a submit. And we'll name it sign up. And the sign up will be the label that's displayed on the button. Since the word type is a reserved word in Rust, we need to prefix it with r#. And what r# does is it's just saying we have a raw identifier, and we're allowed to reuse any reserved keywords that are provided already by Rust. We are using Tailwind for our CSS, and so we're going to go make this button class right now. So if we hop on over to our Explorer, and we scroll down to tailwind.css, we're going to jump into the components section, and we're going to create a new class. It's going to be called .button, and we'll use @apply. And @apply is going to apply all of the classes that we supply to the button class. So we only need to input .button for our class. We only need to have .button instead of a long list of classes that we're going to put in right now. So we're going to have a little bit of padding. We're going to have rounded buttons. Use a semi-bold font. Small text. We'll use slate for the background color. Small shadow. And we'll make the text white. So whenever we use the .button class, then, well, just whenever we use button class, we're going to get all of these classes applied automatically. Let's go ahead and save this and try running it just to make sure that everything's working fine. So we'll do just serve front end. And we'll hop into our browser, make sure we navigate to the correct location. So /account/register. And here we go, we have a sign up button. Mine is huge because I'm zoomed in a lot so we can see it easier. And it is formatted for mobile display. So if we switch over to the mobile and zoom out a little bit, so there's a little more realistic sizing, and we'll adjust the size later once we start building the rest of the form. Let's hop back into the code. The next thing we need to do is create some input boxes so the user can input their username and password. And in order to do that, we need to manage the state of that username and password. So we'll be managing the state in the next video.